All right, everybody. So now we have our body line. We're going to be jumping into the meat and potatoes of this thing. And I'm going to start off with this pink whale tail here. It's a Dent Craft, the smallest one, the pink handled one. And we're going to start off with that, with the pushing procedure. And when I say start off, it's because I'm going to switch to a longer PDR finesse one here in a little while, but that's because this one barely gets to this dent. I mean, it's really a little bit too short for this application, but I kind of started off that way. And the head is a little bit too small. The PDR finesse one is a little bit longer. But as you can see, I'm definitely in there making some nice tiny little pushes and kind of tightening up that little hole that we have left, which is the last divot in the body line. Now, there you go. See, I figure out that I need a longer whale tail, and we're going to take it in there. It's just a little bit wider. I don't know if you noticed that from the photo, but definitely the tip is a little bit wider. And when you literally go up underneath that brace in there that we looked at earlier, and I'm going to give you a shot of what the tool looks like working in there. It is skin tight, and then it opens up awful wide, like a wide cavity on the inside. So you can automatically see that I'm getting better pushes with this tool. Just that little bit of additional real estate on the width of the head of the tool, and that it's a little bit longer. It's allowing me to move my hand around in there much more fluently. So I literally have my hand wrapped around and inside of that larger hole, and I've shoved this whale tail up from the bottom, and I'm kind of twist pushing with my thumb. Just little by little pushing these spots up. This is a difficult area to maneuver around in. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It is not straightforward whatsoever, but as you can see, it definitely can be done. So again, we're exchanging a little bit of pushing, a little bit of hammer and knockdown work. Absolutely, for sure, want to use the sharper tip tool here because my pushes are a little bit sharper, and they just kind of complement each other during this repair process. There we go. So it's basically a little bit smaller, and here's the video here. Here's the part of the video where I'm showing you how this is happening. I've got it shoved up in there. It's really tight right there. Even when I'm making twist with my thumb, that is exactly how I'm pushing in there. Very hard to keep control of the tip of your tool. But now, back again to the front side of the dent. What I'm basically trying to aim for is that little hole right there in the center of the body line. I'm trying to get that little bitty spot right there pushed up, but I do not want to push it too aggressively to the point to where it's going to crack the paint. I mean, it's very common on a dent like this that I'm going to have to wet sand and buff the paint out towards the end. So my pushes are, I wouldn't call them super aggressive, but definitely I'm working with the knowledge that I am going to be kind of toning down that finish at the end with a little bit of wet sanding and polishing. Again, going in for some knockdown work. My primary focus at this point is right there on that line. You definitely want to kind of open it up, do some pushes, open it up, and little by little you'll see that hole in the center begin to disappear. So now we're going to be going back in to a knockdown session. But little by little, as you can see, the surrounding perimeter is beginning to blend in. Definitely got a little dots up above there. I'm tapping around right now. If you notice, when I tap around that, they become much more subtle. That's because there's little micro highs around them. There's a little close-up view of it here. And so again, same deal. I've got the whale tail on the inside of the panel, and I'm just kind of moving it around. You can see me targeting that little bitty low right there. Now I'm going across this whole panel and targeting every single little low spot that I can target. Very difficult here. I mean, literally my arm is wrapped around the inside of that panel, and I'm just getting these little thumb pushes here. Kind of hard to grab, get your hand around the tool as well. So you will find that going through this access is definitely possible, but it is definitely an advanced thing. You know, you're going to want to be much more advanced in paintless dent removal to tackle something like this, just due to the hand-eye coordination that you must develop to keep your tools nice and steady and pinpoint little bitty spots. So again, an exchange between the knockdown and pushing. Definitely a common theme through a lot of these advanced tutorials. You know, you're going to find that you may use your knockdown just as much or even more than the hand tools that you're using here. So there I am. I'm going to see how far I'm going out. I'm actually toning down that line a little bit, trying to set a nice little blend, and still doing some work there below the crown. But we will go ahead and kind of wrap this segment up of the tutorial, and we'll go ahead and move on to our next video.